Hello, hello. Hey, Marin Marie and Matt. Welcome and happy Tuesday. I am going to be tackling GitHub today. And when I say that, I mean I have 246 issues in the Skeleseller repo, and we want to get that down to, I don't know. Actually, let's find out. If we worked every single day from now until launch, we have 70 days. So 240, what, 6 divided by 70? Is about 3.5. So it had to be 3.5 issues every single day. But I don't think we can do that, and I think we need a buffer. So I think we need up to like 5 issues per day. Maybe, probably even more. Maybe we aim for like 10. Because then it would take 24.3 days, which would get us done pretty much by the end of January. I don't know. I don't think this is possible. But it's something to aim for. And some of this stuff needs to happen anyway. Like it's like one of the issues is launch the game on Steam. Like, yeah, you can't launch the game without launching the game. That's a given. So some probably won't be so bad. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to tackle today. Oh, and I forgot to make the title of this. Oh, well, let's do it tomorrow. Yeah, I should do this stuff. Let's put this here. In the afternoon. Yeah, great. Okay. Well, at some point, and maybe we start this tomorrow, I need to tackle some of the bigger issues, but I think today we're just going to focus on getting done with any of these that we can. I'm going to start at the end of the list because these are the, well, are they sorted by oldest? I think they are. Yeah. So I'm going to start at the end of the list because, yeah, hopefully these aren't too difficult. Inspect leak resources. This was in 2024. I think we actually do have an issue on closing the game. Let me take a look at this. By the way, continuing what I mentioned yesterday, I think Steam stats have still been pretty healthy. So I'm really hoping that keeps up or even goes up from here. Hey, Snowies. I hope to exterminate some bugs. How do we test this? Can we just quit? Yeah, there it is. 6 RIDs of type texture were leaked. And then this was leaked. And then these. Yeah, I'd like to fix all of these issues if I can. I don't know how important this is. Leaks. So that's what's happening, and we have this issue. Okay, so leaked at exit. How do we figure this out? Leak. 3 RID allocations leaked at exit. Let's just search for this. Leaked at exit. Do they mention a flow for this? Maybe we search for RID. I kind of want, yeah, like this. What is this? Possibly duplicate of this. It's all 4.2 dev. What if I search for just this thing? I mean, there are a lot of times when this shows up, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Slowness, leaks on exit, resource not exported, game crashes. Yeah, what is this about? Sim for me not fully understanding the cleanup process. Game had orphan nodes I didn't clean up correctly. Still have a couple. Assume I haven't caught them all. Hey, this is Tape here on Twitch probably. I think that's their. I think this is them. Yeah, this is them. I recognize the name. So is this just a result of having orphan nodes? Because if so, I can just go take a look in here when we go to quit. Notification. Oh, this is in main now, isn't it? Notification. Yeah, right here, we just do print orphan nodes. And then just quit on the title screen and see what happens. Yeah, maybe we need to free whatever scene we have. I'd be surprised if Godot doesn't do that for me, but it's possible. It doesn't print anything. It probably tries to, but it can't because it's in the process of quitting. In fact, I guess we could just print the orphan nodes and not quit. Hey, Grimoire. Nice to be here again. I always check when people say that, like, when was the last time you were here? It was August 2025. Yeah, nice. Well, welcome back. How was your new year, Ben? All right, so we click quit, which is just going to print. Oh, wait, what? Oh, this is not how quitting works. Interesting. What does quit do? Scene tree.quit? Print orphan nodes? I thought this would do this in a different way. I'm still just investigating this for now. And I'm not too concerned yet, but I don't really want to spend a ton of time on this. And I think this is only a problem because you quit. So like we could print 400 errors on quitting. If all you cared about was quitting the game and it quits it and it doesn't like mess up your save data or something, then not really a huge issue here. Let's delete that too. Maybe there are no orphan nodes, but this'll let me know for sure one way or another because now I'm no longer quitting the game. So we'll press quit and it'll seemingly do nothing. There. And now it printed nothing. So we have no orphan nodes. What does this do? Quits the application at the end of the current iteration. By convention, exit code of 0 indicates success. Does it just default to 0? It does. I don't know. Yeah. This is tricky. Well, what do we see about this? Texture, storage, texture. Can I like tell any other information about this? Because we don't even have that many textures on the title screen. And if I go into the game proper, what happens? And then I quit through here. It's got a bunch of orphan nodes, but that's to be expected. And then, oh, did I get rid of quitting? Yeah, I got rid of quitting. And I think it's going to print probably the same things, which maybe means that main is holding on to some of this stuff. I wonder how quitting used to work such that this wasn't a problem. It could be a Godot issue too. I don't know. I haven't investigated this enough. No, it's the same 3 and then 6 and then 3 singleton errors. And that's what we saw here too, right? 3, 6, 3. Yeah, weird. So it's maybe coming from main because main and title scene are the only, or title screen are the only things that really load here. We have a texture there and there, and maybe like the Discord button or something. I don't know. So it's possible that it's that stuff. If we just delete the logo, let's just try this. We delete the logo. So now there's no texture at the top. Does that change the number that leaks at the end? I'm just trying to get some more insight into what's going on. No, it doesn't. Strange. I wonder how you investigate this more. Yeah, strange. So it's a texture rectangle. I wonder if we have those in the title screen or in main. I guess we can just go to the title screen and find out. Texture. We have a bunch of textures. Yeah, we have the background, for example. So what if I delete the background? It's gonna look so strange. Yeah, weird. No, it's still leaking the same amount. So it's not this specifically. And main doesn't have anything here as far as I know. There's the virtual cursor, which shouldn't even use a texture. There's this stuff, which shouldn't have any textures in it either. Yeah, there are no textures there. And then there are a whole bunch of textures in here, but none of them seem to cause this particular problem. Maybe it's the buttons themselves. New challenge mode. Oh, Can we delete something here? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. What if we just never went to the title screen? Yeah, what if I just never did this? We'd be on a blank scene, I'm pretty sure. Like it'll just be totally black or gray maybe. No. Something's still putting us on the title screen. It's probably the state machine, and just creating it is what does this, and not adding it as a child. And yeah, so now we're on a black screen. So now when I quit this, it says the same stuff. What? What? How does that make any sense? Is it? Yeah, how does that make any sense? We don't even show the title screen and we're leaking these? I should probably make a new project and see if this happens there too, although I find that incredibly unlikely. Oh, you know what we could do? We could do that same thing I just did, but we could... Where's the code? Here. We could launch it through Godot and then take a look at the scene tree. Hey, Lammy. I still have to chime in on the translation stuff on Discord. Last night got away from me a bit. There was a lot to do after the stream. How long have I been coding? Like in my life? Because I've got that command that should answer it. Or if you mean on Skeleseller, it's been almost 2 years. All right, so remote scene tree, I guess. Are there any textures loaded here whatsoever? A color rectangle, that doesn't count. So no textures are even loaded. And then I quit. Can we see what resources we have? Like, is there a way to look at that? Maybe there is. There's print orphan nodes. Maybe next to this, there's some other thing that we have here. Resources. No. Godot print resources loaded or something. Resource loader. Get dependencies, load, no. Man, bizarre. I don't know how to even investigate this more. There are no orphan nodes. Huh. Didn't know there's a command for it. Yeah, it comes up a decent amount. I don't expect people to just know that stuff. I don't mind sharing it. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Discussion on how to translate perk for heroes in town. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I still plan on reading it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, how someone creates their stuff behind the scenes. I think a lot of what I did for Skeleseller, at least, was public. And I've got all the VODs here. I'm not expecting you to like watch every VOD, but this started with a game called Idle Ascendance, and I spent 3 weeks on that. And those VODs exist too. They're just not in this playlist. But yeah, I started with that, and then we just worked and worked and worked and worked. Huh. I wonder if it's worth just giving up on this for now. I just don't know how to investigate this any further. I don't even see any textures. I mean, let's write down some notes so far. If I make the game wait on main.cs and never transition elsewhere, it still leaks this stuff at exit. I don't even have textures in the scene tree. Yeah, let's try the new project idea. How do you open a new Godot window? I think you do this. Yeah. I don't know how this would be possible. Let's look at this tab container translation repro. If this is in C#, which I don't actually know, maybe there's a way to tell. It's not, but maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I just play this anyway. And then just exit out of it. It doesn't leak anything. I'm going to attach a script and call it main.c#. create, and then just close out of this. I don't actually need it to do anything. I just want it to exist. And then we try running this and closing in. Yeah, so it's not like this happens on an empty project. There might be something like the splash screen is causing a problem. We load this as the logo. I wonder if I deleted this and like we turn off show image, what would happen? So now I rerun this. Expected a semicolon. Did I delete something I shouldn't have? Oh yeah. There we go. This can be closed. Huh, weird. It's not saying anything now. Is that the problem? Did I just fix this, or is it just never showing anything through Godot to begin with? In which case my other test wasn't actually a test. No, yeah, it's just not showing anything through Godot. Maybe this has to do with how it's being run in VS Code. I'm actually not sure. There's one other thing we could potentially try, and it's upgrading Godot and seeing if that fixes something. What's weird to me is this stuff doesn't print out over here, and I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, very bizarre. So this only happens through VS Code. No, that can't be true. What about if I do open exported Mac build? Because now we're running it through the command line. I think Godot is absorbing this somehow. I just don't know how or why. Why quit after 3 years? This video talks about it. Yeah, it happens here too, huh? This doesn't show when I quit, when I start through Godot. It does when I start through VS Code or an exported build on the command line. I think Godot is just hiding this for some reason. So things I can still try, and then it's probably just worth giving up on, is like upgrade Godot. Hey, Pariah. I mean, this is a compliment. Has anyone ever told you you look like Point Crow? No, no one has. And I keep track of every single time someone's told me I look like someone else in this list, which I'm now adding your thing. Sounds like it's a joke, but it's not. But yeah, Point Crow. Yeah, no, I've not heard that before. Let me see who this is. Wait, I know who this is. They do Zelda stuff. I've seen some of their videos. But yeah, no, I can maybe sort of see the resemblance, but yeah. And yeah, I'm glad you like the streams. I like that I've been streaming. I think it's been nice. I don't want to become like just a streamer. I think some people are vying to do that in game dev category right now. Or maybe not just a streamer, but like primarily a streamer. I see myself as incidentally a streamer. Like, I'm a game developer. I happen to be doing this publicly. But I'm not trying to become like a, 2,000 viewer stream or something. I think that would actually hamper the game development aspect. Couldn't unmute it because I want to hear your insane reaction to my epic watch streak, but after the reload, didn't give me the pop to share. I wonder if you could clear your cookies or something and it would show again. It probably saves server side. You could actually check local storage, see if you can poke around in there. Is that a shot at pirate software? No, that's not a shot at pirate software. I'm saying that I think some people want to be streamers and some people want to be whatever it is they're streaming. And if you want to be a streamer, I think there's a certain way you need to conduct your stream if you're going to be in game dev or software development. And I think it mostly comes down to talking, sharing opinions, and doing very like surface level things. I haven't really watched pirate streams, so I don't know what they typically cover, but it was not a shot at them. Just had to wait another 5 streams, I guess. Okay. So why doesn't this show in Godot? I'm running the exact same thing. I don't even know what differences there would be here, though. I guess that I can't quit. Well, no, I'm still pressing Command Q. Yeah, I don't see anything here. It says we're not filtering it out. clear output, copy selection. Yeah. Strange. I don't see anything. All right, let's try the newest version of Godot and just see if this is a problem there. I don't have any other ideas. 4.5.1. What are we on? 4.4.1, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, here goes nothing. Whoops. Wait. No, that won't work. I gotta do this one. Yeah. How long have I been a developer for? I've got the command right there about this. It's got the full answer to your question, but part of it involves a lot of work on your part. Oh yeah, I'm in touch. In touch with old Jeffy. Why is this not downloading? Huh. I usually don't have a problem downloading stuff. All right, let's try refreshing and try again. Is it gonna work? You can see the little loading thing up here. It's just not actually doing anything. Huh. I guess I can delete all these fonts. Oh, what do we do? I can't even download a new version of Godot. Is there another link? Maybe I can go find a direct link to it. Previous version. I guess I could just try one of these. Yeah, like let's close out of this tab. Try 4.6 beta too. Because we're not trying for something that's stable. We're just trying to see if this actually impacts the issue that I have. And then if it does, we could just be like, oh, well, it's a Godot problem. Oh, even this isn't working. Huh, I think all their downloads are broken. Or it's my internet. I don't know. If anyone has bandwidth to spare, can you try downloading Godot and just let me know, do any of the links work? Because I can't seem to download two different versions here. Huh. Doesn't work for you also. Okay. Well, that's a shame. I guess we can't really move forward with this. Yeah, thank you both for testing. And hey, Cyan. All right, well, let's put a comment on this issue then. I think this is worth closing at this point, unless we end it. Can never know if we've found every leak. Well, we've done what we can. There are some issues when quitting the game, issues quitting ScalaSeller after starting it through VS Code or the command line, but not through Godot itself for some reason. I'll just copy my investigation here. Maybe you can download it from GitHub releases. Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know for sure if it's there. They have the stable version at least. That's probably good enough. So I just got to find Mac mono stable here. Yeah, okay, GitHub worked. Yeah. I'm actually a little bit surprised they don't link to GitHub for their downloads, even on the main site. Did the icon get brighter? I think it did. All right, so we load up ScalaSeller through here. Just say edit normally. I'd like you updated to 4.5. I don't care about this because I'm not going to save anything it does. I just want to see if this causes an issue or not. Hello? Hello? Yeah, the icon definitely changed. You can see it. Whoop. You can see it here. It got brighter for sure. Going for less than 50 open issues. That would be Herculean. I don't think I can do that, but hey, Dark. Okay, so I want to run through here, but I can't actually run through here. I need to run it through VS Code, which I guess is doing the exact same thing as launching from the command line, because we do this. All right, so then here's what we got to do. We got to go look at whatever this is calling. So cat that script. And then find where Godot is. Oh no, it exists as an app. Oh, man. Oh, I have a typo in the title? Thank you, Stevie. Let me go take a look. Oh, man. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I will give you a point. Yeah, every once in a while, my keyboard has some double typing issues. It's possibly my fingers, but it's usually a sign I need to clean it. And like as of late, I think it was either D or R. One of these keys was double typing, but it doesn't look like it's happening now. Either way, it's on H, and that's what I double typed in the thing. I guess we could try typing H a bunch of times. No, it's probably just me. Yeah, thanks for pointing it out. I appreciate it. All right, so I want to launch this. How do I do this? There's some way to, I don't remember how to do this. There's some way to launch Godot. Maybe I can find it through here. Huh. All right, I don't know how to do this. So let's just go to home, downloads, and run Godot mono. There's some way to specify your game. Permission denied. All right, so Godot -- help. How do you run a game? Path to project.godot file. Oh, okay, that's easy. All right, so the path is here. It's cd game project.godot. I don't actually know where. Oh, there it is. Oh, game/project. Got it. Okay, so we run this. I guess we close out of this one. And then a black screen should show up and we quit it. Oh, in the notes? Maybe it was on Weblate itself. It might be in a comment or something. Yeah, on the website. I don't even know how I'd find that now. Maybe in projects, Skeleseller, insights, history. And I have to like go back to when I made a change. Maybe I could find that through here. Users, Atom, recent changes. I don't see anything. Ah, I found it. Okay. Here it is. Where's the comment? Comment. Oh, you can't edit comments? Well. Typo in prior comment. I'm not gonna write anything about that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you can't edit comments, but yeah, you did. You are correct. There it is. There's just what? Delete and resolve. Yeah. It is kind of weird that you can't edit them. Oh well. Guess we're not changing that one. All right, so did the black screen open up? No, this didn't work. I want to run the game. There's some way to do this, and I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Maybe I should export it? All right, this is taking up a lot of time. -- run the game. Is it actually a thing? No. All right, let's export this. Also, hey, Hideo. Export, which I think is going to require us to get the export templates. I have it for 4.5 beta 5 mono. I need it for stable mono. Okay, great. Well, whatever. At least we have fast internet. So this won't take too much longer. Exporting is going to actually take longer than downloading the templates. So there we go. It's probably unzipping them now. And it's probably done. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now we go to export. and export this. I guess into here, sure, whatever. Overwrite. Then we go find that path. Game out Mac. Wait for that to finish in the background. This should switch to saying January, whatever it is, 6th. Almost done. And it says 100%, but it's not actually closed yet. Yeah, I want to wait for that. Huh, I feel like that's a lie to say 100%. All right, so now replace that and open this and then run the game. All right, so copy the path to that. CD into it. Contents, Mac OS. We should find Skeleseller in here and then run this. We should see a black screen pop up. Yep. And then I just quit. And look at that. It still happens. Okay. Well, I don't think we do anything about this. And I think I've already investigated this for long enough. So what version of Godot is this that we're using? 451 stable. Yeah. It probably just doesn't show those logs for some reason. This also happens. This happened on 441. What's it called? 441 stable something. 441 stable mono official. But it also happens on this, meaning that if it's a Godot bug, it isn't fixed in the next minor version. I assume it's our own problem, but since it only happens on exit, it's probably not worthwhile to keep investigating. The other thing is, I'm not totally... Did I write the thing about main? This also happens even if you just load main.cs. Wonder how much we can trim this down and and never transition to the title screen. I don't even know where the textures are coming from. Oh, you know what? They could be coming from the Steam library. Can I turn that off somehow? Like, yeah, this caching Steam ID. How do I stop that from happening? Okay, let's revert every single thing I've done because none of this should be saved. Yeah, right. I didn't actually make any real changes here. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, none of this matters. All right, revert it all. Discard all 6. There shouldn't be new files. What is it talking about? Yeah, sure. Quit this. Hasn't quit yet. Is it because something's open over here? Yeah, okay. So just cancel this, close, whatever. Quit it now. All right, so we're back to normal. Reload, I guess. That was happening before we added Steam. The weird thing is, we're not even loading anything special, right? Like this scene has nothing in it. It's a blank control, blank node, and blank canvas layer. So it's got to be something added through script. So if I just turn off the scripts here, I guess this is a pretty decent way of finding out. There, so now it's totally blank. Now this definitely shouldn't happen. Oh, this is not going to test it because you can't do it through Godot apparently. All right, so we run through here though. I think this will find it at least. So now I'm guessing there's not going to be any problem on quitting. Weirdly, there still is. The scene is like totally blank now. Oh, except for scene transition. That has its own script too. All right, I guess detach that one as well. Okay, now nothing should be happening, which means that at least one of these things is coming from scene transition. Very interesting. No, it doesn't. What? All right, let's just delete all these nodes too. So now we have a blank control node, And just to make certain that I'm running this scene and not something else, we can type scene here and find out. Yeah, it's running main. And this is main. And we save this and we just have a control. There's nothing special, no textures. Does it have a theme? No, there's no theme. Oh, I gotta stop doing that. That's not a real test when I do it that way. This is the real test. And yeah, it still leaks a texture at exit. My guess is this is a Godot problem, but I don't know why this didn't repro when I made a new project. It could have to do with this being a control node, so I guess I can just change this to a regular node. I mean, it's not like any of this matters. I'm just going to revert it all in a couple of minutes anyway, right? So now we try running from here. It's going to show me the same gray screen it always showed. And I'm guessing it's also going to show me, yep, leak to texture at exit. The only texture I could even think that it would be the splash screen. It's the only place where we load anything. So if I turn this off, now there should be no image whatsoever anywhere. Do you have any C# singletons you register the engine on loading of C# code? I don't know if that's possible to do through here. There's no, there's no, oh, I guess there is auto load code, but I don't have anything set here. So I don't think there's any way for any C# code to be running at all right now. Which, again, further confounds me. How come this doesn't happen on a new project? All right, let's try one more time. Maybe I did this stupidly. Let's make a new project. Create test leak at exit. I don't want this to be there. I want it to be in, where's code? Where's code? Where did I put that? In volumes inland? Okay. Yeah, here it is. So select current folder. Okay, so no need for version control, create. You can register stuff in the engine. Yeah, I think you can only do that through the auto load thing here. Game icons? Yeah, maybe. And maybe that's why it doesn't happen when it's through the editor. I'm not sure. But anyway, if we just make a new control node here and then save this entire project. Oh, I guess also attach a script. And the script has to, no, there's no script. What am I talking about? Yeah, it's just this. So this is it. We just say this is main.tscn and then we run this. But then we need to run it through the command line in order for this to work. Which I guess would mean exporting. I don't have any presets now. Add Mac OS. Cannot export if etc to ASTC texture format is disabled. Enable it in etc to ASTC. Okay. I think it said it'll only take place when I restart this, but let's just see if that changed this. Invalid bundle identifier. Export path /foo.zip. And bundle identifier com.example.game. Export. Cool. Great. Save. This should go pretty fast. There's nothing in this project. So it's just bundling the engine itself, really. Yeah, that was quick. So now we go to wherever I just made that. Godot. Test leak at exit. And then we open this. And launch this. Contents, Mac OS. All right, wait for it to load. That's weird. Took a long time to load. Now we quit it, nothing happens. Any challenges doing game dev on a Mac or not really? The only kind of minor challenge is that I think most Macs use high DPI displays with them, although that's changing for a lot of computers now. But that's potentially a difference that you would have between that and like, you know, your average Windows user that you might be targeting. But like I said, it's not like Windows users can't have high DPI displays. But other than that, no, not really, I'd say. least not anything I can think about off the top of my head. So then this has to do with probably something in the project settings. Can you retrieve RIDs? Maybe free them manually through rendering server? I don't want to... I don't know. I don't want to spend a lot more time on this. I think I'm just going to close this. Yeah. Other things I did to investigate. This happened on this. This happens if you load main. Happens if you delete everything from main. All children and the script on main. Although at that point, it only leaks at least a different amount, right? 1 RID, 2 textures. It only, yeah, leaks 1/3 of all of the things that print out. 1 RID, 2 RIDs, 1 get singleton issue. This doesn't happen on a brand new project. It pretty much means that there has to be something in the project settings that causes this to happen. Right? I don't think there could be anything else. And yeah, there's an icon set. I mean, what if we just delete that? I don't know. I don't really want to spend any more time on this. There's also the mouse cursor. Maybe. Oh, man, fine. All right, I'll just test the mouse cursor and the icon, and then that's it. I don't want to do any more. Mouse cursor. So just revert this, and icon. This one's on Mac specifically, so it's probably not even in this. It's in the export settings, right? Mac OS native icon. Where does that exist? Oh, it is in here. Okay, delete that too. Okay, so now all that's gone. Now let's try running this again. Because if so, we can just file an issue on Godot for this. Yeah, that fixed it. So it's one of those two things. What? Okay. Which one? Is it the icon? Would you look at that? Yeah, wow. Is it the icon or is it the mouse? So we're gonna reload this. Now we have an icon again. Now we run. It's the mouse. Huh, that's interesting. That's interesting indeed. So it's just this. And this has a UID here, which just points to a ping, right? Yeah, hand.png, yeah. Huh. Very, very interesting. So now I see a leak when it exits. Huh. Okay, well, let's go search for this on the issues, because this is something worth filing, right? Oh, it's already an issue. I just couldn't find it. Oh, and I even searched for this. Oh man, hang on a second. Where would it have shown up? Maybe I just ignored it. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to come from this. I did see that this was an issue, but I focused more on what were the closed ones because I thought it would have been tackled by now. Yeah, this is the issue. Wasn't able to reproduce the issue. Thank you for your feedback. Still exists. I can reproduce this. Adding a mouse cursor texture. Create the issue. Resetting the setting to default. Can reproduce. This is still an issue in 4.5. I found a reference of it here too. Yeah, I'm just going to put a thumbs up on the original issue. Are they also on a Mac? No, they're on Windows. And they're not even on Mono. Huh. I'm surprised that this person couldn't reproduce it. Are they using the same version? Stable, official. Windows 11 versus Windows 10. Forward plus. Huh, strange. Hey, Mohit Kumar. Sorry, I missed your message from 17 minutes ago. Okay, well, that only really probably explains one of these maybe, but I'm going to just link to this issue, and I'm going to call it a day. Ignore this. Old notes. At least one of these is caused by this Godot issue. Okay, but hold on a second. Does this do the singleton thing at the end? It does. Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah. So this is probably the issue. We probably just ignore this. All right, close. Okay, great. Wow, that took a long time. How long was that? 46 minutes for one issue? So we want to do 5 issues per day. It's just 230 minutes. Actually, that's not too bad. Because hopefully they go faster than this. All right, so this one, change / color graphic and apply modulation within Godot. So I did some little preview images here, like we could have a pink one or a green one. I'm torn on this. We use this for basically every single enemy in the game. And no one's ever commented on it, and no one's probably paying super close attention. So I don't think we should do anything about this. Let me get back to being able to run the project. And then close out of this thing. Okay, so we launch the game. We could pass it the ability to spawn the effect. Yeah, the question isn't necessarily how we do it, it's should we do it. Because the how we do it is we turn the / color graphic white, and then yeah, we'd pass in a color. But is it even worth it? Like, this has never really bugged me. Every single enemy in the game, I think, uses that little like / graphic. I think we just leave it for consistency. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do anything with this. I don't think this is worth doing. It may actually be preferable to have consistency within enemies so that you can always tell when you're taking damage and not wonder if they have different abilities. Yeah. Okay. All right, make sure we don't roam device-specific settings when we allow for roaming save files on Steam. This is not its own issue. I'm going to just file this in cloud save, I think. Yeah, this. Ensure. Interesting. This used to be this issue. Yeah, so save this. And now the other one's a duplicate of 977. 977. Okay. All right, so we've closed 3 issues so far. Can't export debug builds. I don't think this matters. Yeah, I don't think this matters. Yeah, I'm closing this because it hasn't mattered in the last, like, 1 1/4 years. Yeah. Just not worth spending time on it. Juice it up. Look over the entire game and figure out where you can add some liveliness. Could just watch random YouTube videos for inspiration. I like the idea of this, but unless it's some specific things that we can do, I don't think it's probably worth. I don't think it's worth having an issue open for it. Seems like a trivial task. Hey, Bokanot. And yeah, the random YouTube videos thing here came from every once in a while you'll see someone make a video on game dev and they'll talk about like, hey, here's how you can make this thing look better. And it's like we could just watch a bunch of those videos for inspiration and be like, oh wow, now our life bars look better, now our transitions look better, now our whatever else. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep leaving this as an issue and then saying like, let's come back to it later, and there's never gonna be a later, so I should just close this now. I also see object DB instances leaked at exit when I start the game. do a bunch of stuff and quit. Details only given insta ID. Yeah, it's just probably not worth looking into. Because like I said, if it only happens on quit, and it's not like if someone leaves the game open for 3 hours and it crashes because of a memory leak, then we have a problem. But if at quit time it says like, oh, hey, leaked a bunch of resources, and that list is not growing, it's not really an issue. Like presumably even with Godot and that mouse issue, there's like, it's holding on to a texture when it shouldn't be anymore. Because it's probably changing it at the OS level or something, or registering. I don't know exactly the details, but it's like, okay, a mouse texture is what, like kilobytes? So sure, it might be used for the entirety of the program, but kilobytes won't make or break the game. Now, if it was like every frame it's adding another mouse texture, we'd have a gigantic problem. All right, so this isn't really an actionable issue, and well, without specifics. And I think it's always something that will put off until later anyway. It's also not likely to fall off our radar. If in February I find myself with a ton of extra time, I will probably look at how I can improve the game in some way. Yeah. Also, since this issue was filed, there has been a lot just in terms of like make the game look better, because it's been a year and a half since then. Make buildings cleanly clear out terrain and trees underneath. I don't think we're going to do this either now. Like, Kevin ended up making a debug tool that kind of, sort of does this. The tool he made was this. There's a draw, and you can draw like a line. So let's say I draw this line and then hit the button. It'll make a path. But even this doesn't clear like everything here. Oh, I guess it does. But actually, I wonder if we should use this. Yeah, I wonder if we should use this. I guess it causes a couple little weird things here like this edge, but in general, it looks like it works pretty well. You know what? I think this would be kind of big. Yeah, maybe we should consider this. Hey, Cypher. This was fixed anyway with a script that cleans the terrain. Only kind of. Like what I'm picturing is this. Let's say we load the game again. So we don't need for there to be like gigantic placeholder spaces. We could just fill this in with trees and stuff and then use this underlying function and be like, oh yeah, let's just wipe out this section. We have a function that sort of works that way, but it doesn't work on every layer, I think. But I'm not certain this is worth it. What's debug draw for? This is for testing like which paths we would need to clear out in the game if we wanted to do this. So let's say we wanted to add a building like right here. So we click draw path, and if we're like, okay, you know what, that worked pretty well, then we just keep these points and we write them in code at that point. I think that's what those, yeah. And if it doesn't work well, then we, I guess, clean up the draw thing or something. So, I guess this is another one of those questions of like, do I want to delete this? Could we make this into trees and stuff? And then I'm just like, oh, let's just draw a cobblestone path then. And it makes this, except for in cobblestone. I mean, if we're going to do that, okay, so let's look at this again. So you can't have, if this didn't exist, if this were all trees, you wouldn't have paths going to nothing. And same thing, you wouldn't have fences around the paths going to nothing. So I guess it's much more involved than that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything about this. I think for the older issues, we're going to come to this conclusion quite a lot. So merged PRs, I want to find the draw thing. I know it was something Kevin did. Let's take a look at these. Doesn't have draw in it. Path. Just scene structure here. Yes. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Evil Rex. All right, so Kevin and I are making a debug tool that kind of sort of does this in 920. I think we probably should consider using it in the future for new buildings. But I don't think I want to take action on anything now for a few reasons. One is that what we have already is working. So we would just be changing methods for doing this. I think Kevin's tool is probably slightly slower than what we're doing now. So the method could be perceptible by the player. And 3 is that zooming out, I think the reason we would even do this is so that the map doesn't have these gigantic placeholder plots for shops in the warehouse. However, if we get rid of the placeholders, we'd probably have to get rid of the paths leading to those plots, which means getting rid of the fences, lamps, etc. around those paths and stopping workers / customers from walking on those paths since they wouldn't exist yet. Well, until they exist. It's just not worth that kind of work at this point. Can you somehow detect multi-tile objects since their texture origin is most likely outside of the region you clear? I mean, I think that's part of what this does, this draw tool. Like if I draw a line here, I think it clears even the tree. But yeah, in general, it is true. Like this fence being one object, to a player, they'd be like, yes, this is one fence. But to the code, it's like, well, there's 3 sections of the fence and each one is made up of tiles. But yeah, like I said, it's just not worth doing, I think. It'd be cool to place your buildings wherever. I did not want that. Like I explicitly didn't. And part of the reason why is because I think this happens in a lot of games where there's a like best way of doing something, but you don't have that information at the start. So imagine if you had something like, I don't know, it's like a factory game, right? You have like electricity, an electricity building, I don't know, like a battery building and a blacksmith or something like that. I don't know why this would use electricity, but like you might put them together where you have like building 1, then 2, then 3, then 1, then 2, then 3, and then you find out, oh, you can put them in rows or something, and you're like, well, now that I can put them in rows, I actually only want the 3s in like the center, and I can change these to 1s. And it's like, okay, so in order to do this, you need to have a way of putting a building anywhere, and then a way of either moving a building or deleting it and putting it somewhere else afterward. And I just thought, would that be fun for the player? Like, and what are you even optimizing for? Probably travel time to your items, but since it's an idle game, it's all going to eventually work out anyway. So I opted not to do it, and I think it was the right call, just like how I think not having equipment was the right call. But a lot of players still comment on it anyway, and not the buildings thing, the equipment thing, actually. But yeah. Hey, Goose. Letting players build where they want, but let us skip the whole town throughput analysis. Yeah. Just blame it on the player. That is actually another thing that is potentially bad, which is if you let people place things anywhere, then either it matters and someone can make a bad choice, or it doesn't matter and people feel like their decision was pointless. And it's probably going to be that it matters. And yeah, if someone makes a bad choice and they're like, I'll put my potion shop like way out in the middle of nowhere, maybe because they felt like they had to because all their other buildings were in a certain configuration. I think it would lead to them being like, the game is pretty slow paced, and then blaming the game and not their own choices. Hey, Pickle. That's not to say the game couldn't be fun if you let people put their buildings down. And I got to say, I'm like reanalyzing what I think about. People have talked about a hardcore mode in Skeleseller. And my stance has always been the same. this wouldn't be fun. And the reason why I don't think it'd be fun is because of how like safe play manifests in Skeleseller. And it's an automated game, so it's like you'd go fight in the forest for an unreasonably long time and it'd just be slow. But something kind of interesting happened. There's something called ultra hardcore in WoW now. So let me back up a little bit. WoW is an MMORPG. I'm sure everyone's heard of it at least, even if you've never played it. And generally it takes a long time to level up. And hardcore in any game means you die for good. So it takes a long time to level up, combined with you die for good means you could lose, 50 hours playing a character because you disconnected. And while you were disconnected, your character died. You had no way of preventing this. You just died and you got to start again. And that's how that works. Ultra hardcore is something really, really punishing. Your life bar is hidden. The enemy life bar is hidden. The screen darkens as you take damage, so you can't tell where to run. So if you have like a whole bunch of enemies around you, if there's an enemy like here and here and here, in the normal game you'd be like, oh, I'll just take this path out of here. But when the screen darkens, you're going to be like, oh, I'll try to take a path out of here and walk into another enemy. So a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, but some people have been playing this, and like, I don't think this sounds fun at all to me, but they're playing it. So maybe they're not having fun, maybe it's a job, maybe it's for clout. But it kind of makes me wonder about really any game decision you might ever make. Like, there's that David Brevik game, It Lurks Below. And this has a mode in it, I think, where you have like fatigue and hunger. And I was like, this is just it's so bad. Like, why would you put those modes in this game? It's like the stamina system in Diablo 2. But I guess some people like it. And yeah, I think that my conclusion from all this long-winded rambling is never underestimate what people will find fun. And if you're designing a game for yourself, just think of like, what are you trying to target, or what might reach the most people? Like, what do you value in a game? You might value making a really punishing game. So anyway, this all spawned from the whole, like, what if you could put buildings anywhere? And there's an incarnation of Skeleseller where people probably find it fun. But I think most people would probably find it fun to just not have to worry about that. All right, so what am I doing? I think I was just writing an issue here. Yeah. If someone streams it, what's chat gonna yell at them for not min-maxing? Streams it being what exactly? All right, delete debug summon and debug summon for one stage. I kind of liked having these. I guess we can just put it in deleted code though. Do we ever use this? Disappears at battle stage end component? Nope. Oh man. All right, so we would delete debug summon for one stage. This is fine, I think. Yeah, this is fine. And sudden death debuff? This isn't used anywhere else, is it? Interesting. Oh, Skeleseller. Was chat gonna yell at them for not min-maxing? They're perks. They're selling. Technically, we can keep this in the unused assets. We could, but it's already in the Git history. So I think it's better to just point to it from somewhere else. And we already have a deleted code note. So I would probably just add something in here at the bottom and say like debug summon for one stage, and then just put a link here. So that's what we'd probably do. And that's what I'm probably going to do, because I don't see us using these anytime soon. I just want to see what else do we not use. So there are those three things. Summon test. I guess there's summon test as well. What is this? It's a blue slime. Okay, so summon test. And then what else? There's stun attack. How does this work? Stun debuff. So basic stun attack. Oh, unfortunately, this has the string stun, which people have been translating. And it's going to get deleted from the code if we do that. Honestly, it might just be best to keep this stuff in the game and just mark that it's not used. But I don't think it's worth doing that just for a single string. And the single string has only been translated to like 3 languages anyway, right? No, 4. Oh, no. Oh no. Well, let's take a look at this really fast. Did the LLM already come up with the right thing for this? Let's look at the history. No. What about here? No. What about here? Okay, this one was apparently correct. And in German, or this one's Spanish, this was also correct. Okay, so half of the time the LLM was right. So we made 2 humans do work that they wouldn't have had to do. Or we later add in a stun thing in the game. I'm very torn. Yeah, I'm very torn. I mean, a lot of people play Souls-like games, so some gamers out here do be a bit masochistic and enjoy it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, ultra hardcore has an audience in World of Warcraft, and it, in my opinion, makes the game like pretty unfun. But to other people, it adds a level of immersion and danger, and yeah, every fight could go south. I like the sense of here's a barrier that you can get past. It won't be easy, but it will be fair in getting over that wall. Yeah. And this is why when I mentioned Skeleseller and like placing buildings, I guess in this sort of game, I look at it in terms of there's casual on one side, and then a whole bunch of space, and then like hardcore on the other side. And this is one such spectrum you can have. There's, you know, difficulty and aesthetics and everything else that you can kind of tweak with this. But anyway, on the casual side, I would say is like not placing buildings, or rather, let me put it this way: placing buildings would be roughly like there. It's not super intense, but it's not as casual as just having to ignore it. And I want Skeleseller to be more on the casual side. So it's like, okay, this doesn't really fit here. Permanent death would be like way over here. Permanent death. So this is definitely not a fit for the game. And then something like equipping something would be maybe like there. So yeah, this is a big reason why these things didn't make it into the game. I just don't think they do a lot for the game. Hey, next door. We had some dummy abilities for attacks too. I think we got rid of some of those. Do you have to disclose that you use LLM translation on the Steam page? Yeah, I made an AI disclosure too that I've got to add to the Steam page. I think it's just the... No, wait, where is it? Steam AI. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so I made a document about how we use AI, and I did write translations. I only speak English, so I use LLMs to generate this stuff, and then humans reviewed it. So I want to be as transparent as I can about this stuff, and then just let people decide. Some people will probably have filters on Steam, so they never even see an AI-generated game. And it's like, yeah, technically this game's going to be categorized as AI-generated, even though I would largely say that most people would not find it to be AI-generated. But that's the ropes. That's a basic stun attack. The stun translated string. And then what else do? We have stun debuff. And it literally only exists here. How does this work? Huh. I think this prevents you from acting? Yeah. I think we should delete this. I think we should delete all this. What's your background in tech, if you don't mind talking about it? Did you learn programming through this game? No. Weirdly enough, this has been the 3rd time that people have asked about this today. But I do have a command explaining it. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask for follow-ups, and I will clarify. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete all of this. It's not used now. I don't have a plan to use it. If we do have a plan to use it, we should resurrect it. So the only thing I think we should do is write down what the translations are of stun in every other language. So we don't need to come up with it again. And it's not that hard because we can just copy paste this, right? All right, let's go do it. Debug, summon for 1 stage, and basic stun attack. All right, so English, stun. Chinese we didn't do. French, German, Italian we did. This we... Wait, what? Where's Spanish? Where's Spanish? What? What am I missing here? Why does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Where's Spanish? Oh, I'm in the Spanish one? Oh. Yeah, that would make sense. I thought I was on the English page that whole time. That's why I was confused. But it makes sense that English was showing up as another language. Oh boy. All right, so yeah, so stun is done, and it's this in Spanish. So we didn't do these. Delete all those. Okay. We don't use dud perks, but I do want to add them back in. I haven't finished making the rest of the bone mode stuff. Now I know you released 13. Oh no, my secret is out. All right, so we got to go delete all of this. So where should we link to? I guess just this as a commit. Yeah. Or where they were added. I guess it doesn't really make a difference. Does it make a difference? Why no Dutch? Apparently a lot of Dutch people play games in English. And hey, Raimo. Also, I told you about my Dr. Quack PhD, but that doesn't fit as an animal name in Stardew Valley. It was actually Dr. Quacks. Which is even funnier. All right, so basic stun attack, and the other one's called what? Debug summon? Yeah. And then we just find... I could just link to this. So basic stun attack. Files before deletion. So there's that, and there's... Oh, I already had backticks around that. There's that, and there's this one. And these should both be canonical links, so they have this in here. Sounds good. And then we just write translated, or like human translated strings for the stun floating text. Oh. I mean, there's no real point having English there. Forgot CS, yeah, thanks. And hey, GK. Hey, JD. One of these days I'll redeem the first thing. Yeah, one of these days. There actually is not such great competition for it on a lot of days. Like some days it'll be an hour before someone claims it. So these were abilities just to show how we would implement short-lived summons and stunning attacks. I think it was when we were still working on the battle system, and I just wanted to prove that we could express common RPG elements. Not just battle elements, yeah. Oh, I'm getting it. All right, now we go delete the code. Debug summon for one stage, and the ability ID is 30. Goodbye. Anything that I missed? Summon test is already written down. Yeah, nice. Sudden death debuff. Yep, everything else looks good. So we just delete this whole file. Done. So that's finished. Disappears at battle stage end. Indicates that an entity disappears from battle when the current stage ends. This is intended for short-lived summons. I don't even know why. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this. Because I don't think this is great. But sure. Let's delete it. Remove battlers from previous stage. Disappears in one stage or is on enemy team. So now it's just if is on enemy team. Disappears in one stage is gone. We don't track this by enemy team? I guess not. Are we adding new locations anytime soon? No, I don't think so. See, we still have a bunch of unused monsters. Yeah. I think we use one of each type of monster, except for the tentacle thing, which I have a note to myself that we still need to add in. But otherwise, yeah, I think we have like one pixie in the game or two scorpions in the game or something. And that was important to me. Whether we use the red, the green, and the blue wasn't really important to me, because I assume those took much less time to make than making the first one. Does it make keys or destroy them or both? I'll show you what it looks like in the game. It's funny when I get an achievement by cheating. So here's where you get the key grinder, and it takes in armor items and makes keys. So if I put in these cloaks, you'll see it spit out a key over here. So it's grinding armor into keys. It's also going to look a little bit different in the future. All right, so we're done with that, right? Yeah, so now we just need to delete this file. And now that's done. Sudden death debuff. Let's also add an effect ID, which is going to be gone. I think we can fill in the blanks for that. I'll hopefully remember that. Insta-kill is something that we use, so we can delete this. Okay. Yep, nice. Summon test. That only exists here now. Do we use blue slime? Yeah, we do. Okay, that's fine. Basic stun attack. Oh, we got to regenerate translations. Oh, God. Weblate stun. I should probably write this for the other language that I guess is just Portuguese. Yeah. I'll just uncheck needs editing. It's going to get deleted at some point. Save and stay. And I'll write an explanation. I'm going to delete this string pretty soon, so just ignore this. Yeah. All right, so basic stun attack. We go delete that. Anything else in here? Single target physical, blah, blah, blah. Stun debuff, we already got rid of, right? No, not yet, but that's on the list, isn't it? Yeah. Just double checking my work as I go through this. All right, so now delete the whole file. Whoops. Cool. Translated stun string, stun debuff. Reveal, delete, delete. Can update abilities is if they're not dead. Yeah. All right, that's everything. So now let's try running the game. Should still work. But if it doesn't work, it's because there's a build error because I forgot to delete something. All right, let's just try creating any battle and make sure nothing... Oh, no, it is broken. Well, well, well. Missing data for the following keys summon test. I apparently didn't delete this. Oh, whoops, yeah, I saw that there and I just didn't delete it. Okay, that'll do it. Yeah, I generally don't like having inaccessible code in the code base. I think it just represents a maintenance burden. Understanding, do I need to update this? And then you find out, wait, this was never even used as you refactor stuff. All right, I'll speed this up a little bit. Yeah, nice. Okay. Looks fine. All right, let's review and then check in. These are abilities just to show how we would implement short-lived summons and stunning attacks. Because when we were still working on the battle system, and I just want to prove that we could express common battle elements. Maybe mechanics is better. Files before deletion, human translated strings for the stun floating text. Yeah, nice. There are no comments on this, right? Because if there are any comments, those are going to get deleted. which is rather unfortunate. So I'll click the 4 strings that we had. No comments. No, 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 and no. And the history is literally just someone checking a box or typing the right string. Yeah, so in French, Hideo removed the R. In German, apparently it's slightly different. Okay, good. And then the other 2 were already correct. Yeah, sure. So ability ID, we can't fill in the blanks. But for effect ID, I believe we can because we never save these. So yeah, we should go through effect ID. Enemy ID doesn't matter. Component ID does technically matter. And the rest of this is fine. Yeah. Is reactive healing buff unused? Yes, it is. Good call. Man, I remember reactive healing. Apparently that still exists too. This shouldn't be here. Huh. All right, well, the reactive healing stuff should be in its own change. Let's put that there. And that. Remove references to reactive healing. That was super overpowered. Failed to execute git log. What? What? Huh. Seems like a VS Code problem. Because it actually did commit. All right, so what was I going to do? Oh, yeah, effect ID. I think I just want to consolidate these. We should only be missing 3 of these numbers. How would we find out about that? 6 to 55. So we have 51, 50. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so then we got to just fix these numbers. Okay, well, it's not that hard to do. Previous plus 1. Done. All right, so we should have all the numbers up to there. And actually, you know what else we could do, I guess, to make this easier to look at is do that. So now the line number should match the number at the end of the line. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, so remove 2 unused abilities. These have been around forever. Fixes. Where's the thing? Here, fixes 423. Was it safe to change? Yeah, effects are never saved. Because we don't save battles, and effects only exist in battles. If you're reordering, why specify the numbers at all? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's a reason to do this. I guess only so that none is set to 0. That one's important, but we could delete the rest of these, I'm pretty sure. That was my second question. Yeah, and then I guess if we're going to do that, should we also alphabetize these? It would signal that this was intentional. Yeah. Before I do this, I should make absolutely certain we're not saving these. I believe effect ID can only exist in effects components. Yeah, so there should be an effect component somewhere. What do we call it? Do we call it? Oh, yeah, it's effects component. And it's not serializable. Yeah, so I don't think we do anything. Yeah, we never save this stuff. I guess a way of testing this would be to like set one of these things to a number that's easy to find and then search the save file for it. But I'm pretty certain they don't save because we don't have a load here. Yeah. Okay. Delete explicit effect ID enumeration values. We never save/load these. So there's no reason to have explicit values beyond the 0 value. Probably the same applies to the instance IDs. The instance IDs we definitely save because we need to know which ones you've unlocked. Oh man, my eyes. I forgot to use eye drops. Yeah, we save these all over the place. Unlocked, beaten instance IDs. I think even which one you have selected in the UI maybe. Yeah, selected instance ID. Yeah. Well, I think that's it. I said all over the place, but I guess it's those 3 places. But yeah, those matter. All right, what next? Show enemy life remaining at the end of battle. I think I commented on this just yesterday. Yeah. Okay, so we got to be a little bit careful here about how I do this. I need a policy for prioritization. And we kind of have a few options here. Option 1, just tackle everything in order. Option 2 is skip over low priority things. This one's kind of a questionable priority, actually. I've never liked it in its current form, but I don't think it's super important to tackle now. We should probably put that in a comment. Anywhere that we specify the numbers, that should basically be the indication that this gets saved. But also, if you weren't sure about this, I guess you could just search for the code base or... Interesting. Yeah, I guess you just search through the code base or something. But yeah, anywhere that we specify the numbers should be an instance of us indicating that we're saving it. Is there any place where that's not true? Actually, this isn't worth it. Yeah, it's not worth looking through. All right, so what do I want to do about this issue? I think we should implement this. Like, if we're ever going to implement it, wouldn't now be the time? And honestly, my only hesitation with doing this is just that we're adding another string that needs to be localized. Oh, wait, didn't I write this somewhere else? I wrote the word outcome just yesterday. Yeah, here. If you win or flee the battle. In case of fleeing, you can see the enemy life in the background. Anything else from this? Add a new label and a new tooltip. Yeah, I guess just copy this over there. Show the right label / value accordingly. Do we really need the remaining life for enemy health? I'm not sure if you heard the discussion yesterday, but basically when you lose a battle, this number is pointless. It'll always be 0. And when you win a battle and you weren't paying attention necessarily, you might not realize, like, how much did I win the battle by? Or sorry, the other way around. No, wait. Yeah, if you lose a battle, you might not know how much you lost the battle by. I guess our life bars are in the background. And I guess this works strangely for summons. I don't think about summons. Let's not remove the battlers, maybe. But they're not in battle anymore, potentially. Like, they could be in town. So if they also show up here, then they'd be in multiple places at once. That's why we remove them. So if they are in battle, then they're out of town. And when they're out of battle, then they're in town. We could just do... I'm inclined to not do this at all, actually. Because this affects summons weirdly. Aren't those copies? Well, when I say they, I mean from the player's perspective, like the archer is a character. So if you see them in the forest and in the town, it's like there are 2 archers. I'm not talking about a coding perspective, just like you know, imagine you're fighting in a forest, you're not also fighting in a volcano at the same time. So that's why I didn't want to leave them there in battle. But yeah, from a code perspective, they are copies. There's no problem with us having them in 400 places at once. It's just, it kind of breaks the immersion of like, that's my adventure. I don't think it's a major issue, by the way. I think it's a minor issue, but I still would prefer not to leave them in the battle. I think I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this for now. I still see some value in doing this, but I don't think there's a lot of value in seeing the enemy health. Part of the reason why is because we would only tell you the health of the enemies that are still alive. Any summons, any like summoning makes it tough to summoning and healing makes it tough to tell you the life of every enemy that ever existed in that battle. No, we could still just do it based on the current enemy health. I don't know. I'm still torn about this. It's not that hard to do. Hey, Thomas. Thought I'd better just not remove the winning side anyway. That would avoid the localization step. Well, only kind of, because of a couple reasons. One is that when we're in like a normal size here, you can see the thing in the background, but there are some cases where you wouldn't be able to. So as an example, like this. So let's say we flee this. Well, actually, that was already a good example. Not this particular battle, but maybe this one. Yeah. So like you can't actually see the life bar of the character in that position or in that position. So it's like, I don't know. That's why we have this health thing here. We could also just remove health completely. We could just say duration and DPS. Maybe that's the real solution here. No, wait, but you wouldn't. No. I think we're just not going to do anything for this. Yeah. I'm still torn. Yeah, I think I'm just going to not do anything. If people start asking for this, I think the best thing to do would be to show enemy health when dead. Still living enemies when dead. Yeah. All right, let's close as not planned. And then this should be a duplicate of 445. Okay. Volume sliders change sizes when you toggle showing all of them. Probably hard to see through static images. Yeah. Let's just go in the game and check it out. It is true. They do change sizes slightly, but not in a very drastic way. Maybe it's worse in German or something. I think there are a lot of little things we can do to polish this, but in general, I'd say these controls are something people touch like once or twice in the entire game. So spending an hour or two polishing this is probably not worth it. Like master volume, I could see people changing. And then maybe an individual slider here or there at the beginning of the game. And then you're like, okay, I'm happy with that. You're probably not going to come in here and be like, let's change town sounds 4 times per session. Yeah, so I don't think this is worth doing. This is still an issue, but it's so low priority that it's not worth tackling. It may be a bigger issue in other languages, but still, I think people will touch the sound controls once or twice at the beginning of the game and then only modify the master volume thereafter. As such, they probably wouldn't be toggling show all sound controls to see this issue. Yeah. Also, the more issues we can close, I think the better. Again, I look at this in terms of we have 70 days until launch. That's 70 days for everything. That's like making a trailer, marketing, and also any development tasks that we have. So this sort of development task, if you were to cost it out, you're like, okay, how would we make it not change sizes? Maybe we devote some space to the left side of things so that when it expands, it's still using the devoted space. It's like even that as a change might take 10 to 15 minutes. And for what? And that's assuming it takes as quick a time as possible, pretty much. What if it takes an hour or 2 hours to start exploring different options here? Also that these bars don't change in size. Like, I don't really think there's a big deal. And I think we need to be picky about this stuff. Thought it'd be better just not remove the winning side. Oh yeah. I think we had a concept of cumulative health as a progress bar at some point. Cumulative health as a progress bar. I think that's pretty much how the regeneration progress bar works. But I think what you're talking about is if, oh yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. If you shrink the battle window to its like most basic elements, I think that's where we talked about it. Where right now we have a window that is at its smallest this size. But what if you could make it even smaller, like a postage stamp? How would you know what's going on in the battle? But we decided against that because I don't want people like just totally forgetting about the battles. By having them take up some minimum size on the screen, you still have to remember that battles are happening. And that's just been a design tenet of the game since the beginning. All right, so this is going to get cleaned out later. Make adventures despawn slightly later after a victory. Right now, as soon as the final enemy hits 0, your adventures are immediately removed from a battle. Makes it hard to see exactly what happened at the end of a battle. We should wait an extra, like, even a half a second. During that time, adventurers will still be considered to be in battles. They don't appear in the town again, since they would be showing in 2 places at once. I wonder if we violate that rule very slightly. I don't know how hard this is going to be to code. All right, let's take a look. Where do we do this? Handle end of battle. Run on enemy die. Check for end of battle. All right, what does this do? Check for end of battle. Battle stage ended. On battle stage ended. Something invokes this and then figures out. Take adventurers out of battle. Here it is. Remove all the adventurers so that it doesn't look like they're in multiple battles at the same time. Oh boy. Yeah, oh boy. Try to build from January 17th, 2025. The game looks very different. Are you saying that's the last time you played? Because yeah, the game does look very different. Do I still, I probably have one of those, right? I think it's here. Yeah, this checkpoint 5. Let's load this up. See what it looks like. This was roughly a year ago. We're opening up the old Skeleseller. It's gonna break my save file. Oh my god, look at how few options there are. Oh, there was no music on the title screen. And this font is wrong. We had a Steam button there. We did not have the custom cursor. Oh my god, look, they're walking in place. There are no portraits. I've got the lamp for Skeleton, but I need adventurers to do battle for me. Oh yeah, text on the main thing, and you you can pan the camera. Oh my goodness. No sound for that. Okay, there's a sound for that. Old guild master, old guild, old exclamation mark. Looks like you need to hire an adventurer, old hire dialogue. Whoa. So bad. Oh my god, look at the battle map. I forgot about this. Oh, now we can't control the camera. This part is still the case, I'm pretty sure. Looks so out of place. Yeah, now it's pixel art. There's no instance controls. This part was still pretty clean. Also, the game doesn't look bad. At least not when you're just looking at this stuff, because this looks mostly the same. So now you go build a potion shop. It zooms out. Oh, we had the old item graphics too. Look at that. And then there was a repeat battle button. This thing was very large. There's a plain close button up here. Oh, right. You had to pay to get to the selection of adventurers. Oh, and prices showed up there. There was no animation for buying an item, just for the amount going up. Yeah, no window management. Hey, A.K. I wonder how much of the game was actually in yet. Oh, yeah, there were no drop zones. I'm clicking here to try to drop the item, but you have to actually click the item display. And there's no animation. It just snaps immediately. Wow, there has been a lot that has changed. How much do things cost? Okay, that's the same. And we could build a town hall still. I am curious how far this goes, but it would probably take a decent amount of time. In fact, let's do this. Let's save and let's cheat. Save.json. Money. Max money we'll set to some super high value. And regular money we'll set to that same high value. And then just load the game. Alright, so now we have a ton of money. Let's go build everything. Whoa! Look at these! Oh, man. Oh, my God. Alright, let's buy everything. Oh, man. I remember even Pige had mentioned, why is auto-battling all the way at the end? It's like the first thing you want to get. 4 skill points at the end of demo. This is nuts. Alright, we upgrade the portal and we go fight in the canyon. And we could level up adventurers. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It's like a skill tree. Oh my god. Alright. They better win. I want to see. I don't think there was the farm in this though. In fact, how do they even level up? I think it was by beating the boss. Yeah, level up. Your adventure is now another skill point to spend. Alright, so we could hire the archer and the witch doctor. We could get... Yeah, there's no farm. The tavern. Which, yeah, had quests. And the enchanter's den. Which had spell crystals. And no perks. Oh my goodness. I mean, still, this is pretty decent. Like, yeah, it's not great, but it did communicate what the game was all about. Is the secret Adam in this version? I don't think so. I don't think so. I kind of like that the items instantly pop into the target location. I think it's just less clear what's happening when you drop them on like this space. But otherwise, I don't necessarily mind it. You could go all the way to, what, the Inferno? Yeah. And what do we have in terms of Archer and Witch Doctor skills? Okay, so these were the same. I think we have, what, 5, 7? Yeah, we have the same number of skills now in the game. Is that right? Yeah, we still have 7. So these were like four fully designed classes back then. Although some of these abilities have changed over that amount of time. Man. crazy. Just so crazy seeing that. So yeah, that was the build from like a year ago. Oh yeah, and when you quit it, it would do this. And I'm not going to show everything one-to-one, but the game looks a lot better. Just like everything's better. From customizing adventurers to looking at perks to the buildings to the sounds that we have, the ordering of things, the cost of things. All right, so this is... Oh yeah, but this is the old version, just to be clear. I think you saw Adam in here, yeah. This is, or sorry, I said this is the old version. This is the new version. This is the current one from today, because it has all the adventure portraits and stuff. So I don't remember when they were added. I mean, I guess we could just find out. Adam as a customer. History. November 4th, 2024, really? Huh. Add rare customers, yeah. Yeah, I guess I was already in the game, yeah. All right. Yeah, I think this issue is a little bit difficult. So what we want to do is not remove them from the battle just yet, which happens here. Battlers to remove. And then remove them all. What if I just delay this by a little bit? What does remove actually do? Yeah, it literally just removes them from the battle. And what does this do? Freeze them. And deletes a listener. Oh boy. Because they could technically die in another battle. And then this would happen. What does this do? Yeah, it would make them die in this battle. It's like the Matrix. But all it does is play a sound. So it just played 2 sounds. The enemies are the skeletons we used in the first battle system. Oh, like there's a hidden note on the map or something. If people don't know how to find it. Hey, dead walking. Okay, well, how about this? Let's just see what this effect looks like before we do anything crazy here. So all we need to do is figure out where this function is coded. Where is this? Then battle system. All right, I write that down. Battle system. And the easiest way of doing this would just be to delay this a little bit. So we need to await this, not process frame though. There should be a timer call somewhere. Yeah, here. Okay, get tree, create. We want to wait like half a second, I think. And then put this in another function. Public task testeroni. Pass in battlers to remove. And then call that here. And do that. All right, async. Okay, that'll do it. So now, half a second after the battle ends, you can still see what your adventurer's life bars were. It lets animations finish. That's pretty much the only reason to do this. Let's take a look. How did I? Oh, because I don't know why that was. All right, so watch this one. We'll see the rogues stay around for half a second and then get deleted. They should probably fade out if they're going to do that. And same thing over here. See the warriors stay for like half a second. Yeah, I think it should be half a second, then they fade out for another half second. Hey, Schrodinger's, thanks for the resub. Happy 17 months. So we would want to fade out the adventurers. I want them to no longer be tied. Yeah, we need to remove the health component listener in case they die in another battle. Also, their life bar in the battle is going to reflect the regeneration. This is why this is going to be a problem. Like, let's say we delay this for 5 seconds. So now adventurers are going to stay in the battle for an extra 5 seconds. You will see their life bar rise as they're dead. Or as they're, well, I guess as they're, like, they could have won. But yeah, let's say they do die. So let's say we do this and just send this character over to there. So the mage is going to lose. It's going to stick around for another like 5 seconds and you'll see its life bar rise, I'm pretty sure. No. I wonder why that's the case. Huh. Okay, so what if we never do this? Let's see what kind of problems we could create. Because there is a race condition here. But I think it'll be very hard to hit that race condition if it's 1 second. Because you need to start a new battle, which you couldn't do unless you were at full life. But someone like Mushy could do it, but then basic attack doesn't happen for at least 2.5 seconds. So I think it's impossible, but still we should make sure it doesn't exist. Not just that it's very hard to hit. So we start at, no, that won't work. Well, I guess it will work, but I want to make a battle that they're going to die in. So let's do this one. Their character's going to stick around forever now. And then we'll start a new battle in a place where they will die and see what happens in this one. Yeah, look at that. They're taking damage. And then they died in this battle. Oh, man. Yeah, we just need to disconnect the health component, I guess. Yeah, the health also regenerated in the... Oh, wait, really? Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Or at least the health went down in this one. But I think that is normal. Like, we'll see this life bar drop. That's fine. Yeah. And I think that already happened. And the reason for that is because you might actually, like, be in the volcano here and in the forest here and want to only start this when you're at full life over here. No, before the second battle, the health went back up like you originally thought. Oh, I see. Let me take a look. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Okay, well, we would need to disconnect all of that, so it'd have to be a different health component altogether, which would make it into... It'd make this really annoying, pretty much. That's what I'm realizing. Let me think about this. Health component. We need to disconnect that listener. Yeah. All right. Let's just keep writing some functions here until I eventually get this working, I hope. Private void remove health component listeners. So I want this stuff to be here and this to be all right. So now on died won't happen a second time, but there's still going to be the wrong health components, right? Remove. What is this called that I keep forgetting this? Take adventurers out of battle. I keep typing remove. It's take. All right, so we remove health component listeners. This is so that we don't trigger death effects from another battle. Will Mushy revive himself? I don't know. I don't think the ability system is going to still run But maybe it does, or even is the ability system. The instance has it. Set systems pause. Does this happen at the end of the battle? Yeah, it does. Okay, so they won't revive themselves. And now we just need a new health component. Oh, this is quite the pain. Maybe we could just freeze the life bar. We maybe could do that. I mean, there's an event for this, right? Dispose. If health component is not null, remove the listeners. We could make this public and just remove the listeners immediately. Yeah. And now do remove listeners here. And then we would call that from here. Battler.life. We don't have their life bar. Oh, it's just a node. Oh my god. Oh no. And this is private anyway. Hey, Tim. And the listeners will listen to that call? What do you mean? I might not be understanding. What do I want to do here? And how do we get a battler corresponding to an entity? Collection node battler. I guess we did everything through our entity component system. Oh, I see. Gotcha, Tim. Yeah. I eject this context from my head almost immediately. How's everything going, Tim? Do we ever get a life bar in here? No. Do we ever get a battler in here or something? Summon. We could probably just cast it if we really wanted to. In fact, do we ever cast it? Oh, wait. What am I doing? Right there. Oh, no, we only have an adventurer from there, not a battler. I fully understand. Yeah. I would expect you to. Yeah, here it is. Cast. Oh, I don't like this. Is they have meetings for my game and other potential opportunities? Oh, cool. Meetings with whom, if you don't mind my asking? Because that sounds fun. I got someone to make a Scalaseller video for the first time in forever. BizGig. Oh, wow. And they're up to 200 views. That's pretty good. Yeah, nice. Kudos to them. Yeah, I highly recommend watching this. They very much liked Scalaseller. This is not to anyone in particular in chat. Getting the itch to dive into Godot. It's been so long since I've done C#. I'm almost intimidated. You can use GDScript if you want. It's really not a bad way to learn Godot. And then if you're like, okay, Godot is cool, then you can decide if you want to use C#, and you still don't even have to. Did you already put a 6.7 reference in your game? No. And hi, Larry. Art director I hired and not public potential sponsor opportunity. That'd be nice. Yeah, cool. Cool. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Python like is my bane though. But still, it might be just worth like trying it out for a day or two. It's really not too bad. And then if you're like, okay, cool, Godot is fine for me, then yeah, switch to C# if you feel like it. All right, well, I could cast these. I could do battler dot, and then get its life bar and turn off the listeners. I think this is really weird. Yeah, let's make a public void testeroni. and just say lifebar.remove listeners. For to support open source software. Weren't you doing C# with Unity then? Or, oh, maybe that was 6 years ago that you were using Unity? Yeah, for what it's worth, it's not too bad to get started with C# and Godot. It's just not as easy as doing GDScript. Well, God, thank you for the resub. Happy 21 months. Biggest one being the lack of web export. Yeah. The way I look at this is web export is really helpful for getting player feedback without a lot of commitment or trust from their end. So you could make, game.exe and then share it over Discord, and it'll probably raise red flags for a lot of people, like, oh, I'm going to run an executable on my machine, or like, do I trust this person? But if you were just like, go to, itch.io/whatever your game is, and then, oh, there's a click play and you just are playing right in the browser, I think it's pretty nice. With that said, I think this year they're going to fix the web export thing for C#, but they might not. They're working on it, though. Congrats, you played yourself. That was the game all along, stealing your cryptocurrency. All right, let's try this out. I think I very hackily fixed this, and I'm not really all that happy about it. So we'll speed this up. So this is going to just show the mage at whatever life they ended up with. It's never going to regenerate over here. It will regenerate on this thing. That's fine. Now we start a new battle in a place where they're going to die. And nothing should change over on this life bar here. Ah, no, they still died. Okay, why? Because we call remove health component listeners. Oh, because listeners to clean up doesn't have it yet? Interesting. Interesting indeed. Developers Discord, you can compromise and they shared malware. Yeah. Yeah, I actually, in the last year, I had 2 instances of known contacts getting hijacked somehow. So one was on Discord and the other was on email. And the person on Discord I hadn't talked to in like 5 years. So they send me a message out of the blue and they're like, hey, I don't remember what they said. Like, do you want to try my game or something like that? And it already triggered a red flag for me because their typing style changed. They hadn't talked to me in 5 years and didn't say like, how are you doing or something. And then the email one was someone I hadn't talked to in a year and wasn't even using their services. Anyway, I felt bad in both cases because it's like, man, when you lose your email, you lose quite a lot. You could have just played my game. It was only going to hijack your computer. Anyway, I wonder how many more of those I'll see. And, if someone random calls you on the phone and they're like, hey, I need money, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. And that'd be it. But when someone calls you and it sounds like a person you know, or you're expecting a call, I think it's a lot harder. So it's kind of the same case in an email. You get an email from someone and maybe they are a game developer and you know that. And they're like, hey, can you try this build in my game? You might be like, yeah, I trust you. You might not think to authenticate them through another means. All right, well, anyway, we could do this. That's what we probably should do. Remove this. So we want to do this here and get their health component. Health component HC. This is listeners to clean. I don't even want to do this. Oh, but we need it to be in the existing listener. Oh, God. It's easy. Wait, so is this just off by a frame? Is that why? What function I used to have there? Remove listeners? Yeah, like I think I think we No, this doesn't make any sense. It's in listeners to clean up. It should be as soon as we add it. Yeah, weird. Weird. What am I missing here? We're iterating over everything that's in here, which should be everything to begin with. We remove the listeners. That apparently was not enough. This shouldn't be needed. It should just be remove listeners. But I'm missing something here. I don't know what it is. I gotta test what happens with mushy here too, huh? Malware, but it only steals your session if you don't beat it. God, that's hilarious. There was a game like that a long time ago where, as a punishment for something that happened in the game, I don't know, taking damage or dying or something, it would just delete a file off your hard drive. I don't know if anyone played it for real. I had my credit info leaked from Equifax once and started getting random charges and emails into my personal. Wow. Yeah. Really makes you think something big should have happened to Equifax as a result of that, huh? But probably nothing did. Just a slap on the wrist fine, right? I don't actually know what happened. All right, well, I'm not sure why I just saw this. This character died. The only way for that to happen is that we did not remove a listener. And I don't know how that's possible, because we do call this. So let's put a breakpoint there and try this again. Hey, Pressel, how's your wrist doing? I got a check for $11. Well, I think $11 is worth years of frustration. I don't care about that. Although I'm not totally sure why that happened right there. I guess we disposed an earlier battle system. All right, so listeners cleanup should have 2. It does. Yeah, one of them is a 78% life, which must be the mage. And we go through these and we clean these up. Great, done. So now why is this thing still listening for when... Oh, maybe it doesn't come from here. Maybe it comes from here. I see. It is that. Yeah, it's this on death handle. It's just playing an animation. We need to delete this too. There's got to be a better way to do this. I wonder if it is... I don't know. Yeah. All right, well, I guess we put a private void remove health component listeners here too. And we do the same thing. And then change this. And do the same thing in the tesseroni function. And now we're done. Now I think everything should be fine. Okay, yeah. I think that fixes everything. We'll try it with Mushy as well, because he revives himself. Getting that already authenticated token to log into someone's account. Yeah. Thinking it was a false diagnosis. I don't want to get super gross here, but how do you know what a broken wrist should feel like? Have you broken your wrist before? I imagine it's painful, but yeah, I don't know what level of pain. I don't really want to think about it too much, but yeah. All right, so this character's going to die, or not, they're not going to die. They're going to live. Then over here, they're going to die. And nothing should change over here on the left. Nice. Okay, so that's what I think we need to do. And then we just make this happen for only like half a second instead of forever now. But this would at least prove that there's no problem. Alternatively, we do what Darkstorm suggested and just never hide the adventurers. I don't like the idea of them being dead here, alive here, and also walking around in town. All right, well, let's go back to this. Take adventurers out of battle. We call this is only gonna wait for half a second. And then after that, instead of just outright removing them, yeah, which is here, I want to fade them out. If has battle ended, we would do that. Battler, or I guess like fade functions dot fade out. Battler. Duration. This needs to be a node 2D. And then we get a tween from that. Tween dot call. Tween callback? No, how do you do this? Tween dot star queue free. Tween callback callable from. Tween callback callable dot from. Okay. Otherwise, do that, I guess. All right, let's try that out. You should be able to tell, huh? Okay. Oh, I press. Yeah, are you gonna go to another doctor then? And hey, Boomer Tester. If you have password rules in a system, it actually makes it easier to hack passwords. I think it depends. Because if your password rules are like at least 100 characters and have like 50 different symbols or something, it's not probably much easier to hack than if you just said like do anything, because then you'll end up with people who have like password 1234 or something like that as their password. So I think the rules are essentially like, if your rules are sensible, then it should be harder to hack. Now, I know that this is not reasonable. You're not going to have a 100 character password on most websites, and most people will just be like, I don't know what to even do now. But yeah, if the rules are literally just like minimum length of 6 or something, no characters, then it probably makes a difference. But I don't know what methodology they're using or how they broke that down. Well, Pressel, I hope everything's okay. All right, you ready? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to win the battle. Then the mage is going to stay for half a second and then fade out over the next half a second. So for 1 second, they'll still show up in the battle. That looks pretty good. And that's it. They're back in town. They're back in town immediately, actually. So if I speed this up a little bit. Yeah, so as soon as they win, they'll pop up back in town. And then they'll take some time to fade out over here. So, oh, that's not good. Uh-oh. This. We're trying to free something that's already been freed, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, what am I doing? Oh, I called queue free. Whoops. I never meant to do this. I meant to call remove. Battlers node dot remove child battler. Yeah, my bad. Something isn't adding up. Yeah. Well, I hope everything's okay. And I'm curious what the other diagnosis will result in. Reduces the search space. Yeah. I understand that as the reason behind it. But if the search space is already large enough to begin with, as in like the rules are sensible. Like one of the things, okay, I guess here's an example. like if you literally just say minimum password length is 9, then people can't have the word password as their password, which I think a lot of people do. Like if you look up most common passwords, if the rules literally just stopped these, whatever, I don't know if these are still accurate, but football. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 password. Then you'd already probably stop a whole bunch of password guessing. I mean, I know that this is more involved than that, but yeah. But anyway, regardless of this specific point, I think having sensible password rules is worthwhile. Otherwise, people will probably have insecure passwords. There's actually kind of a funny thing. Fidelity might even still do this, but I always thought this was kind of crazy. If you look at a phone like T9 keyboard sort of thing. Yeah, so like this. Let's say your password was Hunter2. On Fidelity, your password could also be 4868372, because that spells out Hunter2 on a phone keypad, and they wanted you to be able to type in your password over the phone. And you could go on the website and type out that numerical password and it would still work. That seemed very strange to me. I don't know if that's still a thing. A sentence and a random page number. All of my passwords are just randomly generated passwords at this point. So I don't even know. Well, I know like 2 passwords. And if there's a throwaway site, like let's say I had a, I don't know, GeoCities account or something, like, yeah, maybe I'd know that password too. But otherwise, anything that I actually care about or give any sort of personal information to has its own password. Predictable user patterns is a really issue, yeah. All right, so we should see this die, fade out. Yeah, they go back into town pretty much immediately. I think that's okay. So now what happens if they go die in another battle? And also what happens if I close out of that battle before it's over? All right, let's try it. So as soon as my character dies, I'm going to try to click the X. I technically have a whole second to do this, so it shouldn't really be a problem. Any issues? Okay, now the next thing I should try is what happens if I click the X after half a second. Yeah, I think everything's still fine. Nope, wait, no it's not. Cannot access a disposed object. Wait, was this from before? I don't know if I actually restarted this. Dispose. I don't know. Yeah, this might have just been from before. But I thought that was with a mage. Yeah. I don't like randomly generated passwords, because unless I'm using some piece of software, I'm also locked out of the account. Yeah, but I think that's the point, right? It's use the piece of software and or use some like, you know, magic link sort of thing that they can send you. Because otherwise it's like if you can remember a password, that typically cuts down on what those passwords could be. Yeah, this is still a problem. All right, well, this is a hard problem to solve. And I like the idea behind this. I wonder if I should stash this for now. That could be called twice. The second time it wouldn't work. Second time should just be a no-op when you try removing a listener that already was removed. The problem is we're freeing these things twice. Hey, Flare. Not fixing GitHub, just tackling some issues on GitHub for Skeleseller. I think what I'll do, I don't know. I'm very torn because if we just diff everything that I have, it's actually a decent amount of code. Whoops. It's not that bad, actually. I wonder if I should just stash this for now. Lead to people knowing about my password patterns. Yeah. Is it hard because you want health to be linked between the windows on the portraits? No, it's hard because the battlers themselves. So whenever you take a synchronous process and then make it async, you have to account for now what can happen in that delay, like in between. And in this case, we used to just remove the adventurers immediately. Now we keep them around. They have a health component though, and the health component has listeners. So we turn off all those listeners. Okay, that works now. But then we need to animate them, like we need to fade them out and then remove them. But that now has a race condition with freeing them. And yeah, there's some, I'll have to think about this more in depth later. I'm just not in the mindset to think about this stuff now. So let's stash everything I did. We can rename this to, oh wait, you can't rename through here. The UI doesn't work. You have to do it through the file. Remove adventurers after delay. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, I'll stash this. This one's also called Testeroni. Remove health bar listeners. You have a life. It's just all about watching people on Twitch that you really enjoy. Git stash -m. Oh, what do we call this? Issue 485. I started working on this, but I ran into double dispose issues that I don't feel I have the mental capacity to solve right now. I stashed this on my own machine as issue -485. Yeah. I didn't test this with Mushy yet either. There may be some issue there. Hey, Phil. All right, so comment that, delete this stuff for now. All right, let's keep going. Make volume sliders at 0% look like they're at 0%. Perhaps we should gray it out or draw an X when it's muted. I think changing the color would be kind of interesting. Let's go take a look at that. And it shouldn't be too hard to do, right? We just change the modulate or something. I wonder if you can change the slider itself. So yeah, this is at 0, but it's not super obvious it's at 0. It kind of looks like, if you really zoom in, which you probably can't tell on the stream maybe, but if you really zoom in, it's like there is some filled in space here. So it looks like it could be a 1 maybe. But no, that's 0. So should we do anything about this? I mean, it's already... I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we need to do anything. Yeah. SMS or email OTP MFA is kind of terrible. Why is the email one-time password terrible? Because I was going to say, if someone has access to your email account to get that password, then they probably have access to just change your password anyway, right? Most forgot password flows only require your email, and you can kind of consider a forgot password flow essentially is the one-time password flow. Yeah. Is there a simple property to just make the knob of the slider slightly bigger so that it covers the gap? Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. There might be. All right, where is that? Settings menu? Yeah. How do you change this? Constants. Center grabber? Whoa, what? You can just change this number apparently? What does this even do? Boolean constant. If 1, grabber texture size will be ignored and will fit within the slider's bounds based only on its center position. Is it better? Oh, that looks better. Let's try this. Hey, I'll go dev. How you doing? Can we change it to a skull? Oh man, that's actually pretty good. It had to be a cartoony skull though. I actually don't know if you can change it. So yeah, I will write this down because I like the idea. RE volume sliders would have to be a cartoonish skull. Which Quickie Joe has already drawn some of those, so we could probably just reuse it. But what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, okay. So now it looks like it's kind of 0, I guess. Although now there's a weird like distinction between these two. Jumping. Oh no, it jumps at that amount no matter what. Oh, maybe that's our solution. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Now it's pretty clear it's at 0. Kind of looks like it's falling off the end. Well, one of the other things we should probably do here is change the step to 0.01, and that way it's much smoother. Now does it look like it's falling off the edge? We could even make it a little bit lower than that. Step 0.05. I don't know if this is actually changing in real time here. Oh yeah, that's very smooth. Yeah, that's pretty nice, right? I think that's like our solution right there. Oh, I had 2 of these open. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. It's also a pretty quick solution. So now we just got to change it for all of them. Effects, town, what else do we have? Battle in UI. Battle in UI. Okay, so now we set the step to 0.005. Actually, 0.01 is probably good enough. And then set the whatever other thing we have here. This set grabber offset to 1. All right, let's set this to 0.01. That should still be pretty smooth. I think I was just using the wrong application. Let's try it. Yeah, it's still super smooth. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Now they look like they're at 0. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I ended up just... I don't need to write this here. I can write it in the commit, and we can just say this fixes this. Make sliders look better. Fixes this. I ended up changing the... What's that property called? Copy property path. I ended up changing this so that the slider goes all the way to the ends of the bar. I also changed the step so that the slider moves smoothly. Yeah, 1% increments instead of 5%. Cool. Yeah, I want to try with a skull, but I want to do that in a separate commit. And I want to just review this really fast. Oh, wait, what? I have both of those on? Isn't that a problem? Where's center grabber? Hold on, I'm confused. Where is center? Oh, is that just what? No. What is that? How do I not even see this in here? Center. What? Is it because I checked the box? You can both check this box and you can... Oh, weird. I don't... No, wait, no. What am I talking about? That's not a thing. I don't know what that means. Center grabber. Where even is that? Godot. Oh, you know what is probably happening? You probably can't change it when you've got many of these selected. If I select just one, do I see it now? Yeah, there it is. Okay, what does that do? If one, the texture size will be ignored and it'll fit within the slider's bounds based only on its center position. I don't think I care about that. I'm not actually sure. Oh, I messed this up. This is not the right thing. Wow. All right, so all I wanted was to center this, I guess, or not center it. I don't know which one anymore. Yeah, we only wanted to center it. Is that just a visual glitch in the editor? On the editor, it looks like it's only applied to master. No, I messed up. I was modifying the wrong thing the whole time. So we need to select all of these and turn off the... All right, I'm confused. What am I doing here? I selected all the volume things, but I don't see the override where I expect. Well, this is annoying. Yeah, this is annoying. I should probably just do it through the scene file now. Well, how about this? Let's just work with the master volume for now and try putting in an icon grabber. Oh, I'll do that separately. Yeah, I think we just center these. All right, I'll change it through the scene. It's going to be tedious otherwise. Center grabber. Okay, so just put this everywhere. Center is already set. This is not set. Okay, so how's that look? Looks pretty good. So, what am I doing? All of these should work now? Yeah. I might as well test them all out. It's only 6 of these. Yeah. Okay, let's check that in. All right, now an icon of a skull for these. We have it in our font. I don't think we have a suitable skull icon anywhere else because it'd have to be pretty much like what we have in our font. Let me go back to Glypher and go find our font. Fonts. This one probably. Can you change with the arrow keys? Does it scroll smoothly via key presses? Yeah, you can change it with the arrow keys. It's not very quick. It's pretty slow, but it works. All right, so what are we looking for here? Geometric shapes. Yeah, so I was thinking something like this one. I think this is cartoonish enough. It's not spooky. Is there a better one? Maybe, which one looks best? Facing slightly left, facing straight, or facing slightly right? I think facing straight. Yeah, I think we use this one. So now how do I do this? I can save it. Import paths, export glyph SVG. Yeah, this. So now I have just that graphic, which I can open in Affinity, and I can rasterize it. Actually, Godot could rasterize it too. So I could just slam this into Godot right now, right? What size does it think it is? The view box is like 528 by 528. I'll just rasterize it. I don't need to get crazy here. So what size is this right now? This is like 30 by 30 because I'm in points. and that's not pixels. I think I can change it to pixels. Yeah, I think it's 30 by 30. Okay, so we'll just say this is 30 by 30, which might make it lose some of its detail. In fact, it might look bad as a result of that. Actually, I guess it could just be larger than we need it to be. Yeah, let's just set it to 64 by 64. All right, so export to, sure, here, skull.png. All right, now we go into Godot and put this here somewhere. Assets. Icons. We have a UI folder here. Can I collapse all of these? This is very frustrating. Collapse hierarchy, yeah. UI. Yeah, I'll put it in there. Okay. Skull. All right, now we use that as the icon. Grabber, quick load skull. It's huge. It's way too big. But actually, I'm kind of curious what it feels like. Whoop. It doesn't even work. What happened? What's going on? Oh, because when it has a focus, it uses a different graphic. Okay, well, we need to shrink this. So let's export again. Instead of 64 by 64, how big does it look? Roughly like 4 times the right size, so maybe 16 by 16. I don't know if we'll even have enough detail if we do it this way. Where's skull? Oh, it's kind of neat. I think we should use a filled in one if we do that though. Also, why is it black? Did Affinity? Yeah, Affinity made it black. I want it to be white. Can we just invert the colors easily? Oh, nothing I ever want to do in Affinity is easy for me. Colors. Oh, here we go. Is there like an invert? Oh, you could just say fill with foreground color, right? It's the foreground color. What am I doing? Well, I don't know how to use this program. Oh, hey, there we go. You could apparently just do this. Okay, so let's just set it to white. I don't know what I did, but ask no questions. Skull. Okay, yeah, so it is kind of hard to see. Yeah. Is that going to change based on the window UI size? Only based on the game scale, that's all. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell it's a skull. We could fill it in. We have a filled in one, don't we? Yeah, this one, but they only face left and right. But I guess I could just fill it in, right? Yeah, so let's do that. Set this back to red. And then fill white in on those bits too. Where's the paint bucket thing? Oh, we're not even pixel. Paintbrush. Paintbrush. I don't want paintbrush. I want paint bucket. All right, I don't know. That looked like it. Flood fill. Got it. Okay, so now I'm guessing we can't do anything because this is not actually in. Oh, wait. Wait, what am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I think this was apparent to everybody from the get-go. Out of curiosity, can you load this in GIMP? I don't know what happens when you load an SVG in GIMP. Oh, it asks if you want to rasterize it. Okay, so let's just set it to 16 by 16 and open it. That looks terrible. But yeah, what we would do here is we would add a new layer and do that. Put it beneath this, and then just draw a bunch of white pixels. Huh. There's a toolbar that I'm used to having right here. There it is. Cool. So we'd fill all of this in. I'm an artist. I'm doing a wonderful job. I don't think this looks like a skull anymore. It kind of does. It's just very tiny. All right, export as. Don't allow. I want to go to the temp folder and save this as like skull.png. Cool. Now we put that over here. And then we take a look at it in the game. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice, right? Although it feels like I missed some pixels on the top somehow. No, I didn't. Why does that look weird? Come on, I just want to get a picture of this. It's like awkwardly cut off at the top and the bottom. Is it because of the filter that's used for this? It might be. We might need to set this to linear. Does that look any better? I don't know. Yeah, maybe slightly. I think we just need to give this some breathing room. When we check that from one angle, there's a line in my bone, which couldn't be spotted on the other angles. Who'd believe now? Yeah, the anti-aliasing is cut off. I guess just because of what the source image was, that there's no padding around it. So what I should... Oh, yeah, it's because it's cut off here at the top. Oh, how do we fix that? I'm guessing this won't do it. If I just increase this by a bunch. And we anchor it to the bottom. No, that worked. Oh, neat. Okay. So then we just resize that down by a bit so that it fits. Or up. So that, well, let's do this. I want to center it kind of. Yeah, that's pretty centered. Okay. Then we do this again, but we anchor to the center and add another, like, I don't know, some number of pixels. Doesn't really matter, right? Probably try to get it so that it's even on the sides. So let's add another 15. 560. Let's add an even number. There. Okay, that's probably pretty good. Now when we export this, we shrink it down to 16 by 16. Oh, but then I'm going to have the color problem, right? So I actually want to save this as a vector image. Save. And then save it to downloads, I guess. I don't know where I just put that. AF. I don't want that. I want it to be an SVG. What? There we go. All right, so export this back to exactly where it came from. There. Then load that up in GIMP. Then rasterize this to 16 by 16. You can do 14 by 16. Okay. I'm doing such a shoddy job here. I just can't believe the ineptitude I have for this. All right, now we fill in this again. There. It's beautiful. Yep. Here we go. Replace. Export. All right, it's going to look amazing. It's going to be worth all this effort. Oh, man. That is pretty good. Yeah. I like that. So now we would just use this for all of them. So when you don't have it clicked, it's semi-transparent. I guess that means we could make another form of this that is more opaque. Like that. Maybe like 80%. Because that's probably a big enough difference between that and 100%, right? Yeah. All right, so we export this as skull slightly transparent. Okay, drag this over here. And then put that in as the other icon. So this is the grabber when it's not highlighted. So then this one needs to be skull. And this one needs to be skull slightly transparent. All right, now let's take a look. So when we click this goes slightly transparent. When we click this one, I can't move it. What? You can't drag it by the skull? What? Outline on focus? Well, wait, first I want to figure out what's going wrong with this stupid thing. I can't. Oh, now I can. Was I just not grabbing it? Oh, I don't think you ever can grab the grabber thing. Okay, yeah, I know what's happening. You're only ever clicking in the track, and when it's off the track, it looks like... Sorry, when it's on the track, it looks like you're clicking by the dragger, but you're actually just clicking the track, which then happens to be where the mouse is. But you're never dragging by the dragger thing. You're just clicking in the track. Okay, that is a little strange. Is it obvious that there's skulls, though? I mean, like, if I shrink this down to this size, you'd never be able to tell. But that's because I have a high DPI display. I don't know. Also, I think there could be some more clarity added. Like, I just hastily rasterized this, which doesn't give it a lot of, like, clear outline. I feel like it's a bit small. Yeah, we could increase the size of it by a little, I think. Yeah, maybe let's go up by 4 pixels and try that. Okay. Yeah. Export. Oh, wait, no, we can't export it. Oh my God. We need to, we need to reload. Oh no. I don't want to do this again. All right, I'll do it one more time. And then we're coming up with a better way of doing this. All right. So I rasterized to 14 by 16 before. Yeah, now I want it to be, let's do this, 18 by 19. All right, so there's a new graphic. Now we do the same thing I've been doing here. Good. Yeah, good. Okay. Now, can I just flood fill the rest of this? Yeah. All right, well, that made it easier. All right, so now export that. I don't know why it keeps defaulting to that folder. This is going to be skull.png. Good. And then we make a slightly transparent skull.png. In fact, we could just change the... We could change these with different amounts. This could be at 90%. And the other one can only be... It can be like that, yeah. Export as... Skull slightly transparent. Replace. Did it get bigger? I can't actually tell. I think it did. Yeah, I think it did. No. All right, let's change this for all of them. In fact, actually, we should just make this the slider in our theme that we have. So I don't need to change this anywhere. Well, I need to change it in the theme, I guess. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Same thing with theme constant center grabber. This was, I'm just being a big dummy. Yes, we revert everything I just did. Oh, man. There, and then I go edit the theme, which we got to figure out what the theme even is. There it is. So do we have a slider here? Yeah, H slider. Grabber area as a style box? Interesting. Okay, well, I want to add in something else. So how do we do this? Grabber, got it. Plus and plus. Okay, so the grabber is going to be skull slightly transparent and highlight is going to be skull. Then the center thing needs to be set. Set this to 1. And there, that should modify all of them at once, right? Well, I might need to restart the game. But yeah, I expect this to work. Neat. Well, it didn't work for that one. Oh, because it's disabled? I didn't make a graphic for the disabled version of that. I guess we just fade it out even farther. I'm doing such a bad job. Whoops. So this is going to be skull very transparent. Now, where'd the theme go? Here it is. It's not here. I saved it in the wrong folder. I did. Very transparent. Got it. All right. Like I said, I don't think that takes effect immediately. No, it doesn't. But yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I think it's a good idea, Dark. And I think those are all the sliders we have in the game. I don't think there's another instance of a slider. So it's those 7 of them. And in order to test that final one, we just need to restart this. Yeah. So I think that looks sufficiently disabled. Weirdly, though, the sizes are different. How's that possible? Oh, I never put these over there. Oh, whoops. Okay, so now they're all going to get bigger. Oh, no wonder I didn't see a size change. Okay, so here's the old size. And let's get one of these highlighted, actually. There. So here's the old size. And here's the new size. Yeah, that's a lot better. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah, so old and new. Yeah, neat. All right, I'm definitely giving you a point for that, Darkstorm. That's a great suggestion. Yeah, June. This is such a nice touch. All right. Yeah, neat. Well, that was worth the time. You know why I think it's worth the time is because I do think a lot of people enter the settings when they first get to a game, and to see the little skulls here would be like, oh, that's neat. They cared about this. And every once in a while, you'll see a review on Steam saying like it's clear a lot of love went into this game. I hope that's obvious to players. I hope they're not like, oh, this was some throwaway cash grab game. Like, I really labored over this game. Hey, Wem. You change the mouse sensitivity in games you play? Cash grab, Adam the sellout. Yep. Oh, I only changed the texture filter on one of these. That might be a problem. Yeah, in fact, you can... Wait, can you see a difference? The master volume, if we set this to nearest... Oh, yeah, that's a huge difference. So which one looks better, I wonder? I think linear does. It's not pixel art, so yeah, linear does look better. So we got to set all those to linear now. That's easy. There. Wait, why are they like different levels of crispness? Oh, because... Oh, darn it. Because of the slightly transparent graphic. I think I want to change that then. So that in the slightly transparent one, it's still... It's like this maybe? Yeah, that's probably better. This, save, replace. Export. Very easy to perform this scam. No, your art is good. I like your art. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Oh, and I gotta change it over there too, right? This. Linear. There you go. Any ideas for the toggle button? Like a skull with glowing eyes when it's on? I think these are the only ones that look like checkboxes. But I don't want to go too crazy with this right now. But it could just be a skull inside the box. And an empty box. And VSync toggle. I wonder if VSync should just be a checkbox. I don't know. Add an 8 slider that's locked. Have a label that says love next to it. Have it at maximum value. When you crank up the love slider, you think these turn into skulls. And before that, it just looks like a cash grab. All right, so change slider grabbers into skulls. This was Dark's idea. I also moved some of the duplicated theme overrides into the theme itself. Hey, Thorn. VSync could also be on or off. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. That's what the toggle does right now. It just looks a little bit different from how other UIs render them. Yeah, texture filter on this. Can you set the texture filter in the theme? I don't know if you can do that. Go find the theme one more time. I don't think that's possible. No, you can't. Okay, that's okay. I just want to make sure I couldn't have fixed that, because it would actually be nice to set that in a theme for every single label I have. In fact, let me just search for this. Texture, filter, theme. No, I don't think it does it for that. It's got to be on canvas item. Okay. Maybe there's an issue on it. Just a request for it at least. Project or parents. No. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so we checked this in, right? It's looking good. Yeah, I like it. I got the skull from this. Nice. Okay. So make sliders look like they're at 0%. We just did this. It should now be in that branch. Somewhere here, we should see something saying fixes 470, I think it was. 25 commits. This fixes 490. Yep, there it is. Cool. I just didn't remember the number. All right, so that's that one, right? Yeah. So now we're here. Allow left click drag to scroll tall dialogues. Got this feedback in checkpoint 4 for the skill tree. What if we do it there? I think you'd want this to work everywhere. We have this functionality in instances manager. I don't think that's even a thing anymore. But I did this somewhere, didn't I? In the settings menu, maybe? No. The settings menu is where I want it to be. So whatever, save. I don't care about this. I just need to find where I did this because I'm pretty sure it exists somewhere in the game. It's not there. That wouldn't be it. That doesn't work. That's not it. Yeah, Maybe in a perks board? But you would need to like really shrink the screen for this to show a vertical scroll bar, right? And no, it's not there either. Maybe I never did this. Right now, you have to actually drag the scroll bar or use the scroll wheel. You can't just drag the background. But I could have sworn there was a place where you could drag the background. I don't know where that is. I don't see any other UIs there. So I don't know where it even could be. It's not here. This doesn't even scroll. That's probably a problem. This only scrolls if we really shrink the screen. Yeah, I don't think I ever did this. Huh. And it's not like instances manager still exists. Oh, wait a second. No, it does select. I know where this happens. It happens when you have 3 battle windows open. So I do that, that, that. And now you can do this to scroll. Okay. What else do I have written down here? Scroll container with click to drag. Yeah. All right. I don't think we're gonna do this now. Let's see if there's any other gimme issue here. No. Well, maybe just closing this issue. I don't actually plan to do this. No, I think I'm just gonna close this. Yeah. I don't think this is worth doing. If people want to cheat, they'll find a way to cheat. May as well make it easy. I don't know. Yeah, I never felt strongly about this. Okay. So let's go fill out the journal. Actually, let's check some stats before I fill out the journal. Let's look at the wish list count. Whew. These numbers have really been going up. 65 wish list additions today. So I think these numbers freeze at UTC midnight. I don't have proof of it, but at about, what time is it in UTC right now? I'm 8 hours behind. So yeah, at about 4 p.m. my time, this number doesn't seem to ever go up. and there's no way for me to change these settings or like change a request such that I can see tomorrow's data. I kind of wonder if I change my time zone on my own computer, if it would show me the data for tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, 65. This has just been going up in the last like week. I'm not even totally sure why. But yeah, it was like 14, 19, 15. Actually, let's look at a month. 2 weeks, actually. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, right around here, the cyan bar is the one that's the additions. And technically, additions on their own don't tell you very much because there's also deletions, and people have been deleting it a lot lately for some reason. But yeah, you could see that they're like hovering around net zero for a lot of this. And then all of a sudden they start like shooting up. And I'm not totally sure why that happened. But the other thing that's been rising has been the number of people that have claimed the demo. And today it's been 34, and there are 2 people playing right now. This isn't like super high in terms of numbers, but it's been pretty good. So yeah, I'm hoping this line just keeps shooting upward, and then we start getting like 200 wish lists per day or something. Wonder if defining a release date impacts the visibility in Steam. So the thing is, you have to have a release date set on Steam. It doesn't have to be visible. And you can obscure it with something like 2026 or Q1 2026 or March 2026. But you can get very specific, of course, and just say March 17, 2026. And I don't know if they show the time, but that doesn't really matter. So I always had a date set. And I think the date was set to like February something. I don't even know what, like 15th. So maybe now that I made it like fully visible on Steam, that made a difference. Maybe it just, I don't know. Yeah. Making people look at their wish list more. Yeah, maybe it was that. See, I'm not totally sure. I also started reaching out to some influencers again. Like I said, we got one new video. I mean, I only reached out on Thursday to people. And yeah, this person made a video already and it's got 211 views. So that's also probably helping a bit. And I think they said they were going to post to like TikTok or something as well. Well, I haven't looked into that. So yeah, I think... I guess we technically had... Maybe that had something to do with it too. We haven't ever hit 10,000 net wish lists. But there have been more than 10,000 additions. There were a lot of deletions. Yeah, I wonder if it's something about like we passed a certain threshold where Steam is like, okay, this is enough now. And it was like a drip feed up until then. The last thing I kind of want to check here is if I just go to Steam and I guess Scala Seller. And we go look at any of the tags. Oh, first of all, how many? It says 6 viewers, which probably just means 6 people are on this page. But if I click, let's say shopkeeper, and we go to browse all. So there's 421 matches for this. And popular upcoming should show Scala Seller on like the second page of this, I think. So I don't think this is like rising in the ranks. And there aren't that many shopkeeper games. If I pick another tag like RPG, this probably won't show up at all. Popular upcoming. Yeah, like I'd probably have to scroll down quite a lot to find it. Show more. Show more. Yeah, I'll do this another like 3-4 times, but then I don't think it's gonna show. That's 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so part of the reason it doesn't show, I think, is because of how soon from now these games are launching. Like, these are in January. This is only a couple weeks away. Maybe in March, we'll start seeing this on the RPG page as well. I spent a year developing this Idle game. You won't believe what I learned with this space. I mean, I want to make some content too at some point. One of the there's a Reddit post I wanted to make, which I think would be hilarious. I quit my job, died, made a game, or like started a town, and then made this game. I think that would be a nice little twist on the usual, like, I quit my job and made a game. But yeah, who knows? My Reddit posts have never done well. Oh, I already have the journal open. That's weird. I put it in the wrong tab. I must have just had that tab selected beforehand. Okay, worked on GitHub issues. What do we start today with? 246. Started at 246 issues. Now we are at 236. Ended the morning at 236. How many did we actually... Oh, wait, no, that's not even true. If we merge that branch, we're going to close another couple, right? I think that's right. So I don't think we can really easily say this, but a couple are going to be fixed by a PR. Okay, well, we're working through this stuff. I think this is the final week I should be doing not ultra important stuff. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on polished things, and I've been having fun. It's been decent, but I think we need to start focusing on some real stuff. So I'll write that down for Monday. Friday, last day to work on whatever I want. Gotta buckle down on Monday. Monday, need to work on the most pressing issues, which are going to be bone mode, controller problems, yeah, those things. Does it make yours better? I've never liked short sleeve shirts with buttons. I don't know what it is. And yet I always have my sleeves at like half length, but I don't want them at like bicep level. I don't know why I don't like them. How did the issue count end up? We got 10 issues closed, but it was probably more like 12 because some of them are in a PR right now, kind of like purgatory. You dislike comfort? No, this is really comfortable. I like this. What kind of embarrassing tattoo are you hiding? I got a Twisted Grove tattoo, but I drew the art myself. It's not nearly as charming. I feel the same way about button-up shirts. Yeah. Pretzel. I don't want to show off my pristine wrists on stream. I'm sorry. I really hope you're laughing and that you're not like, I'm never watching this guy again. Okay, good. Just gonna thoroughly offend everybody. Okay, so let me go raid somebody. That's it for today. I've been trying to raid this Eddie person forever. I don't think our times are ever gonna line up. I don't actually know what time zone they're in. Oh wait, no, they are online. Oh, we're gonna raid them then. Okay, so this is the person who's, well, they're playing Clair Obscur right now, and I've only watched them very briefly before, but they've agreed to play Skeleseller when it comes out. So in March, maybe they'll do a Skeleseller stream. Yeah. Yeah, no Adam 2 today. I've got a bunch of stuff to do in the afternoon. But yeah, tomorrow should hopefully be a full stream. So let's go say hi to this person. Show them some love. Just type a hey guys or something if you want. And I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for watching.